G'day guys, we are heading up to Kalbarri in about a week's time, so it's time for me to start pulling out all the camera gear, looking through it and seeing what bits and pieces I need to take. Now this mess here is just some accessories and I have to decide which bits I'm going to need, which I don't. On top of that there's the camera gear, possibly the drone, and these odds and ends here are the useful bits and pieces that I may or may not need on the trip. Now, there's some obvious things I'm not going to need. I've got all the GoPro stuff packed up in its own bag. These are just spares, so I won't need those. Don't think I'm going to need the extra tripod head there. I will need one of these because we attach that to the windscreen and put our tablet on there, and that becomes our mapping system. I'm not sure about taking any of these little fellas. I can take these phone tops off and just have normal camera tops like this one's got. Power packs, these are really useful, and switching now from the old style with no solar on them to these new solar powered ones, so that we don't have to charge them up all the time. We can just chuck them on the dashboard when it's not too hot, let those charge up. These are the older ones here with the only means of charging is the USB ports, so they're getting less use these days, but they're still useful at home. Old style light here, and probably won't need that one. I've got a newer one over here which is adjustable, different tones and that sort of thing. That's very handy these days, and it will even go on top of the camera when I need it. Gimbal, yeah, I may take a gimbal with me this time, I'm not sure. This one is an extension for that, so I can hold it in different positions. Then we have a monopod with legs, little fold out legs here. I'm sure if you watch the channel for a while you've probably seen this one before. That becomes quite useful in some situations, but this time I think I'm just going to go with these two. What else have we got to think about? That's a second tablet holder, so I won't need that. We can put that away. That one I definitely will need. That's a handy little thing when you're going in the 4x4. It clips onto the window and you can have your camera sitting there nice and steady taking shots out of the side window, so that's quite a handy little gizmo to have. Second camera, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be taking some GoPros, so not made up my mind yet whether I need this one. It's the old one, and I know it's got focusing issues and just can't bear to throw it away. I've taken the battery off that and we've got it in the main camera bag because it fits the new camera. So that's my dilemma at the moment, is working out what bits of this I really need and what bits I can leave at home. As part of the preparation for this trip, and because we're going to hopefully be doing some fishing around the Kalbarri area, mostly in the river, well, entirely in the river. There's not much chance we're going to be able to get out here. It becomes a little bit too dangerous. But the little dinghy we got, definitely not worthwhile trying to take any risks. What we will be looking for is somewhere to fish in the river, and task number one is to get this little fellow out. It says a very old-fashioned GPS now. I could actually use a phone and set things up on there, I guess, but I'm so used to using this. And once it's been saved in here, it stays in there virtually forever. And what I will be doing here is just setting up some waypoints. So I'm looking for something in the river that looks like structure or holes or whatever. Now that's a particularly horrible picture they've got up here. And what I'm doing here is just scrolling through the different... oh, that's very out of date. You can see all this has changed significantly. So we'll bring it up, and you can see up here I'm changing the time that these satellite pictures were taken. And what I'm looking for is something that's fairly recent, but is also reasonably clear to look at. You're getting up to fairly recent here. That's not too bad. That looks okay, although that's 3 years old now. 2021. 2021 still. 2022, so that's only last year. Okay, so we don't have anything better than that. So this is the one we'll work off. It was the one that was taken last year. And you can see down here we have the boat ramp. So we'll be coming out of there and looking for somewhere to fish. Now, there's obviously a reef down across here. So any kind of structure is something you're looking for when you're trying to find some waypoints. And we've got a bit of a hole there. How deep that is I don't know, but it looks like it drops down a fair way, and that would have been, I have hooked them all the way up near the mouth of the river before, and I wouldn't mind betting that it would have been somewhere around there. We don't want to go too close into this where we get the wash coming through from all the surf. But that little hole there, if we fish around this edge of it, looks like it would be an interesting place to start. With the Kalbarri trip only a couple of days away, I decided it was time to invest a bit more money in camera gear, and so I've picked up this little thing here. Pretty small, isn't it? Anybody who knows anything about these things is going to have some idea of what the price is. It's $750 roughly. They're advertised at $7.99, but you can knock them down a bit. But everybody I've seen on YouTube who's had one of these, who's doing vlogging and all the rest of it, says that they're a really good little unit. It's a DJI Pocket 2, and this is the Creator Combo, as it comes with some extra bits and pieces. Haven't opened it up yet. I do know what's inside because I've seen the YouTube videos, but I'm just going to pop it all open now and start to get used to using it, and hopefully on this trip I'm going to be making quite good use of it and see how it performs. It looks like it's a pretty good little unit for, well, they call it vlogging, but it's basically just wandering around taking pictures with you in the frame and then switching it round to seeing the view in front of you. So that's what it's going to be used for. And this is everything unpacked. They've got a few different items here. I would say when you're unpacking, do so over something where these little bits are not going to fall down and disappear somewhere on the floor. They're quite small. They come out of this box and they're just sitting on top of it when you open it up. So easy for those to fall out, and you know what Murphy's Law is like. They'll bounce away somewhere and try to hide. So we've got the main unit here in its little holder. We have the extension for the handle. We have what I believe is the microphone, which is a wireless mic, I gather, with a little clip behind it. A little metal tripod, a double-ended USB-C cable, and these little things here are lenses and phone connectors. Now, the kind of connector it doesn't have, which is sort of irritating, you go into focus camera. I have to bring it all the way out here. It doesn't want to focus. I haven't got enough light here. We've got an Apple connector and we've got a USB-C, which is great for people who have got those, but you are going to need another adapter of some sort if you want to attach it to the kind of phone that I've got, which has got a micro USB on it still, unfortunately. I know everyone's switching to USB-Cs, but mine still doesn't have one. So that's a minor irritation, I guess. But now it's just going to be a matter of finding out what software I've got to download and obviously do the registration. And it's pretty obvious from all the little tiny bits and pieces here. You've got a little cover that goes over the connections. You've got the little sort of joystick thing that goes in there. That controls the rotation of the head. So all these little bits and pieces are going to need somewhere to be stored safely so that you don't lose them. Now I know inside the cover is where you can put some of them. For example, the lens and the adapters for the phone. But all the other little bits and pieces you take off, the bottom connector there when you put the extension handle on. This is the, what they call, do everything handle or something silly like that. So there's going to need to be a little bag or a little box or something that you carry with you to put all those in and keep them all safe. Might be a good idea to hang on to that that comes with it and put some bits and pieces in there. So I'll see what I can come up with. I've got all sorts of little camera bags. We'll see if we've got anything put away that we can use for this. Well, we're getting ready for the trip and we're off tomorrow. Gradually filling up the fridge and preparing the boat behind me here. Gradually getting everything packed inside. 3 of us going this time, so a little bit different to normal. Gradually getting all the gear that we're going to need sorted out. It's our food box, dry food box. So we've got that, we've got a drinks box, and we've got the angle over there, temporarily hooked up to the coaster, which is in turn hooked up to the mains power. So about a 7-hour drive tomorrow, so we'll be off nice and early, we hope, if I can get the women organised. Not always the easiest thing to do. So not too much more to do, mostly just putting the food and the clothes in now, and we should be ready. Well, here we are, a little bit before sunrise, all packed up and almost ready to go. Just waiting for the females of the species to get ready. As usual, the man gets himself ready plus all the gear, and all the women have to do is get themselves ready, but for some reason it always takes them longer than men take to do everything else. Never mind. And he should be on the road by 8 o'clock, or at least that's the plan. Well, the weather forecast for today is good, so we shouldn't have any rain on the way out. Looking at Kalbarri, we're expecting 1 or 2 slightly rainy days, but we may get 3 good fishing days at least while we're there. That's what we're hoping for at the moment. Tomorrow looks like the best day, with a nice sunny day. Was hoping to take the drone, but it means I've got to strap it on the roof because of the big case that it's in, which is a bit of a pain. So no drone on this trip. I'm going to have to get rid of that one and get myself a Mavic. It's so much easier to transport. So, crossing our fingers that we've remembered everything, done everything we need to do, and the vehicles are going to be nice to us. First toilet stop for the trip. We used to stop at the little Gilderton rest area that spotted this on Wikicamps. This is Woodbridge, and it's just off to the left of the Wanneroo Road, and they get a bit of a caravan turnaround here, so we thought we'd drop in and have a look. The advice is don't pull into where the coffee shop is, because you've then got to walk down about 300 metres to get to this. Not quite sure why they put it so far away from there. Maybe because they have the caravan turn around here, I'm not sure. And anyway, a quick toilet break, and then we're on the way. Still got a long drive ahead of us, so want to get on with it as quick as we can. Time for a driver change, and we press on again. Toilet break number 2 at Jurien Bay, and off we go again. Well, it's midday and we've reached Knobby Head, and just going to stop here and have lunch. And in the back we have pies. There's plenty of seaweed on the beach, that's usually the case down here in winter. Oh, piles and piles and piles of it. If it wasn't for the seaweed on the beaches here, I guess it would be a much more popular place, but that tends to spoil the beach. I have just on occasion seen these beaches clear, but most of the time they look like this. Now, I'm not really sure how the microphone on this is going to go, but this is the little Pocket 2 that I'm recording on at the moment. Hopefully I'm not going to look at this footage later and then find the audio is really disgusting. And as you can see, there's some nice little places around here to camp. Got a bit of grass here, toilets just over there, bins, and the beach I just came from is just back over there. They're quite pleasant little spots along the coast here. This is an area that we haven't done a great deal of exploring on. There's all sorts of little tracks and places to go and explore around here. We will have to get up here one day and have a really good look around.